Visionaries, welcome back to another video. We are gathered here today because you've been laid off. Do not let that stop your strive, your thunder, your perseverance. It was meant to be. You probably didn't like being there anyway. Wherever you worked, if you did, it was time for you to change your environment and push yourself to do something more. Either way, this is a good thing. You don't look at it that way because there's bills and responsibilities and other things, but it was time. And deep down, you probably know it was time either to stretch yourself to something new or change your environment because it wasn't conducive to you being what you ultimately want to be, need to be, strive to be in this life to help others. So why not expand your horizons and not just do it for one company, but do it for yourself and others. You can touch probably way more people than you could behind the desk or out in the field or in a truck or making sales calls or whatever your job was. Do something similar to that, but on your own accord so that you'll never be in this situation again. I had to figure that out about myself about 11 months ago when I was laid off for the second time in this economy ever. The first time was about 3 years ago. And then the last time, and I'm saying last time because I'm controlling my own destiny, the last time was 11 months ago. So I just started doing the things that were innate to me, that were challenging to me, but also very important to me and to others for myself. And here I am in front of you. So I know it could be startling, disrupting, whatever age you are in life, whether you're just starting out in your career or a younger person or a more mature person like myself over 40. And reinventing the wheel, it seems, but it's not. It just prepared you. The things that you went through before has prepared you where you are in this moment, and you need to embrace it instead of fighting it or jumping back on the hamster wheel of searching for jobs, thinking that's where you should spend the extent of your talent. It's not. Take your talents to Miami, if anybody knows what I mean by that, but that famous quote. Do something different. The universe is telling you, showing you that where you were isn't where you're supposed to be right now. So live in that reality, live in that moment, and stop trying to get back to something that might not be the right fit for you, the right need for the world. How do you know you're not stifling ultimately what you're supposed to do in this life as a human being, as your destiny, as your focus, as the sun starts to blind me? And I'm probably just gonna have to endure this so that the message can be given. It didn't seem like it was the right time for me, but now I know it was, and I need to embrace it, because me spending hours upon hours of sending out resumes, tweaking my resume to every job, going on Indeed, going on LinkedIn and looking for jobs hours on end, that's not what I was supposed to do in life. If so, after the 5th, 10th, 100th time, I would have gotten the interview and went through that process and have a job already. It's not what is meant to happen. So think of something else, do something else that's aligned with your passion, your strengths. You want to be in environments that's nurturing and dynamic, not ones that's like draining your energy and then you dread going into the office or waking up in the morning, because where you're going, you know, is going to be an energy suck for you, all to be able to pay your bills and live the life that you have been living already. I also didn't feel comfortable with it being a time for me to undergo self-discovery and figure out what I should be doing in the future when my bills are due. Don't let life circumstances cripple what your potential is. You have to, just like you might be doing or venturing to do tomorrow, looking at, job postings and all that other stuff, spend a similar amount of time exploring what your strengths are. Get out a sheet of paper, write down, including what you've been doing for work, but other things that you might be talented in, and then from there create an offer. What can you offer others that is beneficial to them, as well as growing your creativity and innovation and exploring your purpose in life? What are those things? That's what we don't nurture necessarily when we work for other people. It actually gets stifled. That long, convoluted job description that has everything in the kitchen sink in it, even if you bring everything to that, which in various jobs I had, I checked every box. But then when you get in there, they don't want you to flex half, a quarter of that. They want you to fit into the box. They've hired somebody. New ideas, new ways of thinking, or even just more efficient ways of doing things are not necessarily welcomed, because the individuals that were in that position before, or that you work with, that don't think forward, don't think in a work smarter mentality, because they think that doing routine things and having unnecessary meetings and gathering just to be social so they can climb the ladder and be considered a team player isn't necessarily the correct way, the most efficient way, the way that's focused on growth and innovation, like they say they want the workforce to be. They really don't necessarily want free thinkers. They want people to do the thing the way they think the thing should be done, with the tools that they give you to do the thing. So just really have a time to allow yourself to think through what's going on, instead of necessarily operating in panic mode and thinking that you have to go back into a situation that doesn't allow you the freedom to be you. And it's funny because when we have a job that we don't enjoy, we can't wait to take vacation, if we even get to take vacation, because that's a setup to unlimited vacation. But then when do you get to take it? That sort of thing. Us living in that constant roller coaster of a ride at a place that we spend a majority of our lives, 7 or 5 days out of the 7, we're there with people that we weren't, that's not our family, that's not necessarily our friends initially. And we have to spend that much time in that environment. It programs your mind to think that this is what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to do it for the rest of your life, instead of being able to take time to take stock in what you're actually supposed to be doing with your life, first and foremost. Even the professions that help people on a regular basis, counselors, doctors, police officers, whatever it is. Yes, it can be altruistic type of work that you do, but were you meant to do it in that environment and that capacity? Maybe you're meant to be a counselor, a doctor, some sort of authority, some sort of, person that helps others in a different way. Not just doing it, within a certain structure. So I really just want you to take the time again to explore opportunities, explore possibilities that in the long term will bring you continuous happiness and help other people. If you get started on this discovery journey and want to talk to someone about it, I have free calls that I have with some of my clients to just talk through things. I have a link below that you can click. We'll have a 15-minute call, talk through what this road to self-discovery, to your professional career journey looks like, or starting a business, entrepreneurship. I help entrepreneurs in all different industries start on their journey, continue on their journey as disruptions happen, talk through what that means if they're growing slowly, if they're growing too fast and become overwhelmed. It's a lifelong learning that we're all going through, and obviously you're not alone. So I've been laid off, and I'm probably going to make it so I'm permanently laid off from someone else's job. So don't necessarily think of it as a negative thing. It's just different. It's just different. And it starts with you. It starts with you making a choice of how you're going to endure, react, if you even think about it as enduring, but just taking your inner strength, inner power, which you have power. Just because you're not at that place don't mean they have power or dominion over you. Your bills have power and dominion over you, because that could change in a second as soon as money, wealth starts flowing in from you being the creator of your own destiny. So again, if you need someone to talk to, definitely click on the link below and we can talk through what this might mean next for you. But I think you should at least try to approach it with excitement. There's always nervousness and new things, but it shouldn't breed anxiousness, fear, anxiety, things that again stifle you, and what your journey should be, what your growth looks like, what your discovery in exploring new things looks like. So carve your path, or discover the one that you should be on. Your work was not in vain. Your blood, sweat, and tears wasn't in vain. It was to prepare you for where you are now. And make the journey beautiful. Don't go through it kicking and screaming and frustrated and cursing and all this other stuff. Embrace it for what it is and move forward. You never know what this seed can blossom into, so plant the right seed. I'll put some other things below that help me through this, like in terms of getting clarity again, and not help me through this crisis. It's just a different way of being now that I am. So if you need to center yourself and feel calmness, ways of breathing, ways of meditating, ways of praying, whatever you do to center yourself and allow yourself to listen to yourself, take the time to do that. You deserve that time, not to spend time away from a place that was taking all your time to worry about that thing that was taking all your time, and replace it with a thing that's going to take all your time. Where is the you in that equation? When are you going to take time for you? So, as you can see, I have gym clothes on and I'm about to go and work myself out. I do have another channel, Venus Ascension, where I talk about health and wellness as well if you're interested in that. But I thank you for spending time with me today. I hope that this helps you think about this time in your life a little bit differently. If you were stressed, worried, distracted, and thinking of things that weren't necessarily positive about where you are right now. I'm a firm believer in where you are right now is where you're supposed to be. So make the most of it. Carpe diem. Today is the youngest that you'll ever be again. Remember that. So don't squander your time worrying about things that you might not be able to control. So if you've been out of work for a month, 2 months, 10 months, a year, it's probably saying to you maybe there's other things, other opportunities that you're supposed to be embracing instead of doing the same thing over and over. What was that quote? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is insanity or close to insanity or whatever it is. So do something different, at least today, at least for an hour or 15 minutes or whatever you want to devote to you having some clarity about your future. Because that's what's most important is the you in this thing. How can you help other people if you're not grounded and okay in the you? That's what needs to happen first and foremost. So with that, thank you for spending time on the planet today, and peace and blessings to you.